But what I want to hear most, I guess, is more about that love for the earth. Every equinox, so September and Marches, I do a program. Well, I center the whole month, try to around what I call Friend a Tree Week, the 3 days before the equinox and the 3 days after the equinox, where I encourage people to send their intentions through the trees throughout the universe and to listen to the wisdom of the trees and have that so you can actually feel physically learn to feel the tree energy and use it for
Yes.
your physical healing. And so do you have any tree experiences or things that you could share now? I know it's we're not quite in March, but it's pretty close. And um yeah, could you share some of that?
I'd love, first of all, I love what you're sharing. And yes, I do. And oh my goodness, that's exactly this part that I am in the process of living through. Definitely, of course, I grew up around trees, and funnily enough, I'm now in Malta where there aren't so many trees. And this is where I learned to connect to trees. Isn't life interesting? But I started working with the intelligence of trees and plant kingdom actually maybe 3 years ago. And I remembered my father was talking to trees. He always said, oh, I have to tell them to grow faster. Or, this tree is not doing so well. I think it needs water. And oh, will you please? He was trying to convince the tree to do things. And I thought, well, it was completely normal to me. But it wasn't strange to talk to trees, but I never did that myself. So here in Malta, I remember my first experience of really tuning into the intelligence of the tree, like the being of the tree, first connecting to the roots. And it slowed me down. I said, wow, my whole like breath and nervous system is rooting together with the tree. I do this meditation often with my clients, and everyone has an amazing experience. And it's often when I sense that there is a sense of disconnect, like we're missing connection. So if I feel somebody is missing, feeling very alone, or missing connection, or isn't very like I'm separate from everything, my favorite thing to do is to go talk to the tree roots. But I remember this my own experience where I was kind of grounding together into with the tree into the root world, and I saw all the plant roots connected to each other. Like they do form a worldwide web spanning the well, I am on an island, but I did say it like spanning the whole globe, even when you don't see the physical roots. But those plant networks, they communicate, they talk to each other. Tree talks to another tree, then there are other plants underneath. There is the mycelial networks. And I kind of just let my nervous system root into that. And at first, I wouldn't be able to explain it. It's like, okay, what just happened? Because it is this quantum state which doesn't really lend itself to verbal, to a very linear explanation. But things started happening after this when I learned also of my own ancestors who believed that the ancestral realm is the roots of the tree, right? It's the root realm underneath the earth, but it wasn't hell back in those days. It was just the realm of the ancestors, and they lived in the roots. That's why, for example, my grandmother, she asked to be buried under a pine tree because it's deep. I don't think it's a very articulate belief. It's like, I am going to become part of the pine tree. Nobody has ever said that, and I don't think anyone believes that in such a linear way. But there was this connection, right? My ancestors come into the roots of the tree, and it became clear to me at that instant. And then I connected further, right? Exchanging the breath also with the tree and just running that circle, and it calmed me down. I felt the slowing down, like the brain's going into a theta state. And I thought, wow, now I understand why, Buddha had enlightenment under a tree, and someone else, everyone is connected. Even Christ had his initiation in connection to a tree, which is like brought forth right in the liturgy. And I said, oh, that makes sense, because it's a living intelligence. It's a slow process, but it's like we're still structured a little bit like trees energetically. So I love communing to trees, and I don't think it's really explainable in a very good way. To me, it's very much a quantum process, right? That's just happening. I let my nervous system connect to the tree nervous system, and it's soothing and liberating, very, very healing, also very connecting for me. As I said, for me, it was an opening to my ancestors.